Thank you for tuning in to Mixed Texan Politics, and we have some great news for you today. Governor Greg Abbott has signed the Save Women Sports Bill here in Texas. It's fantastic news. Governor Abbott signed the Save Women Sports Bill in Texas on Thursday. The law requires college athletes in Texas to compete in the sports that align with the sex they were assigned with at birth. They were assigned at birth. This is an expansion of the 2021 law that banned transgender students in K through 12 Texas school districts and some charter schools in the same way. So 2021, Abbott signed a bill banning transgender students from, men competing in women's sports, basically in girls' sports, and now he expanded that on a broader scale, going up to the college level. Abbott rightfully said the bill is designed to protect female athletes from unfair competition. Women's sports are being threatened. Some women are being forced to compete against biological men, he said during the signing event on Thursday. It says the new law, which takes effect September 1st, allows individuals to sue institutions that allow trans athletes to compete on teams that align with their gender identity. Excuse me. Limiting transgender athletes, particularly transgender women's ability to compete on sports teams that align with their gender identity, has become a growing focus for Republicans, with Alabama enacting restrictions last month and the U.S. House passing a similar ban in April. Of course, the left is complaining about this because they see no problem with men, biological men, beating women in sport, competing in women's sports. You're crushing women's dreams. We'll get into that in a second. Here's what Riley Gaines had to say about Governor Abbott's signing. Oh.
Hey guys, it's 12-time NCAA All-American swimmer and advisor for the Independent Women's Voice, Riley Gaines here. I have heard that Governor Greg Abbott of Texas is signing SB 15, which is the Saving Women's Sports Bill, into effect today. This is huge news, not just for Texas, but for girls across the country. I could not be more grateful for the leadership of Governor Abbott in really taking this on and signing this into effect. Of course, the leadership of Representative Valerie Swanson and Senator Mays Middleton putting this bill forward, and the leadership of Texas Values. Without them being at the forefront of this and making sure this is a priority for Texans, this wouldn't be done. So we have a lot of people to thank. I wish I could be there today, but I'm cheering from afar. Thank you, Governor Greg Abbott.
Very good. Now, she is a victim of this nonsense. Being beat by a man, this is ridiculous. And this is what some pushback, we've gotten some pushback on this. This is from Texas Freedom Network. SB 15 is yet another harmful attack from anti-LGBTQ lawmakers on transgender Texans' rights to be embraced, accepted, and able to thrive, particularly in Texas public universities and colleges, said Marty Beer with Texas Freedom Network, which lobbies against conservative legislation and policies affecting education. The new law that comes after Abbott signed a ban on gender-affirming care for most minors in the state earlier this month, making Texas the largest state in the U.S. to place restrictions on transgender youth access to critical care. This is good. During Pride Month, Abbott has signed 2 bills pushing back on this transgender nonsense. 1, for gender-affirming care for minors, and 2, banning men from playing women's sports. This is fantastic. The article continues to say, Governor Abbott is not discriminating against transgender people. He is protecting women and women's sports. And he is. He is protecting their... Look, Abbott said this perfectly. Sports is a way to women in college or even young girls in high school learn discipline. It teaches them how to focus. It gives them opportunity to get scholarships and things like that. It keeps them in shape and prepares them for the real world. I know women personally who played sports throughout high school, gymnastics, swimming, whatever, and they've become very successful and they're very disciplined. I'm not saying that sports was the driving factor, but I know two women in particular who become very successful in life, who were tremendous athletes in college and high school, and have great discipline. And Abbott talks about this. Collegiate sports help women thrive, learn valuable life skills, and achieve their dreams. Allowing biological men to compete against them threatens this pathway for young women to succeed. And he talks about how he signed the Save Women's Sports Act. Now, get into some polling data here. Gallup poll shows that most Americans do not agree with this nonsense. Let's see. 69%. It says 69% of Americans say transgender athletes should only be allowed to compete on sports teams that conform with their birth gender. Now, that's up from 62% in 2021. I still think that's a little odd that even there's still 31% out there that aren't completely against it. That to me, that's too much. I think it should be. Of course, we have the 10% of the nutty left who agrees with this. I think 90% should be the number right here, where people don't agree with this nonsense. But hey, I'll take 69% any day, over 62 from what it was in 2021. And we started seeing this more often the past couple of years. A lot of crazy stuff has happened since COVID. We're starting to see this more transgender nonsense pushed on us, men playing in women's sports and all this. And people are becoming more aware of it. People are becoming aware of it, and they're saying no. So we're in 2 years, we've seen a 7% increase. Who knows? Maybe in 2 years, or maybe next year, that number will go up to 75%. We'll see. But let's see, the percentage of respondents who took the opposite position, saying that trans athletes should be able to compete on sports teams that match their gender identity, similarly declined. That number plunged 8 points from 34% in 2021 to 26%. So we're seeing, okay, look, even check this out. The percentage of people saying that they know someone who is transgender has risen from 31% to 39% in 2 years. But even among that population, support for this idea has declined significantly. 2 years ago, 40% of those saying they know someone who is trans said they supported allowing those athletes to compete on their gender identity. Today, that has plummeted to 30%. So of the people that know somebody who's transgender, only 30% of them think that they should be able to compete on the gender the gender they identify with. They should be able to compete in those sports. So it looks like that the majority of Americans, based on data and people that I know in general, are not okay with this. You should not be destroying women's sports, and the shot at a scholarship or a chance to succeed in life is something great, because you want to have some loser who couldn't make it on the men's team just identify as a woman and play on a women's sports team and beat the brakes off of them, figuratively. We've seen it multiple times in swimming. I think we've seen in track, maybe, and other things we've seen it where a man comes in and dominates, because we are built differently. We're built differently. We're stronger. Our structure is different. Everything is different about a man's body when it comes to the strength and things like that when it comes to sports. And just in general, that's why you see a lot of men who are construction workers, who are down there coal mining, things like that, and firefighters, because men just have more strength, more body strength. And women are better at certain things than men are. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's always been. You can't change biology. You can't just say I identify as something and then poof, I'm a woman now. But I still have the strength of a 200-pound man with 5% body fat. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's nonsense. But all right, guys, I'm just gonna leave it right there. I wanted to share this great news with you. How red states are pushing back on this. It sucks that this is the fight we're up against, but hey, we have to fight back and push back hard. And red state governors are doing a fantastic job protecting the American way of life and protecting women's sports and things like that. All right, guys, you have a good day. Take care.